Hello, everyone. This is Mary Ellen coming to you live from Moonrise Cottage for the fire sign element reading for the month of September. I'm doing the readings early this month because I'm going out of town and I am having my own journey. We're going to talk very deeply about your journey. So if you're here, just chime in, say hello so I know who's here and where you are uh, viewing from. I am changing up how I do the readings, and my spirit guides have been talking with me. As I know all of you did, I went through a very deep journey and process and transformation through this massive eclipse season that we just came through, and the cycles of the moon, Spirit saying. It is time to change the way the readings are coming out in order to begin to learn and teach, Spirit is saying, about the blending of the strings of energy that affect the tapestry that come through the triad of each particular astrological set point. So I'm going to jump in today. This started in a very, I don't know, Spirit just did it, I guess is the best way to say it. So you're looking at the cards. I always start with the cards just to, my spirit guides have said to me, please let people see the cards while you introduce and etc. So just an acknowledgement, this is much different. I'm going to explain the reading, explain the spread. We'll jump into the cards and the runes. I believe that this is an evolving process, but it will be more or less, I think, the new set point. I'm not sure. I'm just letting Spirit do the driving, so to speak. So if you don't know and you're new, welcome. I use the beautiful Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck developed by Caitlin Matthews, and very thrilled to have this oracle at, for my use, Spirit saying at my disposal. I'm going to toggle over. Hi, everybody. It's nice to be here with you. The other thing I just want to say, I am going to just go through the reading, and I will interact with the people who are in the chat room afterward. Okay? So I'll make a little point of pause so I can clip the reading. The readings are going to go long because it's a combination of all three readings at once. And if there's anybody out there who knows how to do that timestamp thing, go for it. I do encourage you to watch the whole video because it is about the blending of the energy set point. All right. So let's jump in. All right. Back to the cards. What I'm going to do is go through the energy set points. I'm going to speak a little bit about the astrologer. As most of you know, I am not an astrologer. I've done a little bit of research. The Spirit wants me to start building that in. So I think it's a push for me to increase my skill set and move in that direction. But also because Spirit is going to speak about your journey in new and different ways and deeper as the energy that comes through to you and the purpose of it, dependent on the astrology in any given month, affects our journey. We're in a new place. Why things are changing, we all are together. So if you look at the far left-hand side of the cards, that is the Spirit indication for the line to the right. It is also sort of a general story of its own. The line to the right of that is the column, that holds the individual astrological set points. To the right of that, we see a little bit about the impact of the human aspect of your journey. And then on the far right, there's more information about outcome for you. And then the global outcome card, which is very reflective of the astrology for the fire sign elements this month. All right. That is the sacred woman of Skell. She holds the spool of destiny in her hands. And that's the moment that you're in, along with restructuring and revamping and recharging, and a lot of words coming through like that. Okay. So, as you can see, there are also some runes on the bottom attached to each row of cards. They are indicative of the different points of your journey through the month. They are also indicative of the, Spirit's using the word global, the global aspects of your journey. Spirit's talking about, another oracle in order to provide some clarity about what the journey is about for all the fire signs and for the spiritual efforts, if you will, that you're putting in. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the bottom row. I'm going to start with Aries, and then you see there the beautiful courtship of knowledge. The rune that sits on that card, we're talking about the second to the right. Pardon me. If you look at the left column and you move over to the right, that's the column I'm going to start with. The rune that sits there is the general message for all the fire sign folks, okay? The card that sits on the bottom is Aries. Above that, we see the card for Leo for the month of September, and above that, Sagittarius. And that top row above that, more spirit information about general aspects. It's a way for spirit, I think, to pull out more spiritual divination cards and also show you how the fire signs travel together, because we are going to talk about energy a lot going forward from here. I'm going to make a little video. I'm going to try to make it short and just sort of explain more about what's going on and what's happening for me and what's happening at Moonrise Cottage, okay? So let's see, let's jump in. I'm going to start with the rune that is sitting on the Aries card, and that is the rune for partnership. So when we think about partnership, lots of different ways to understand that. Spirit primarily is talking about partnership with the divine when you see the column of cards that it sits with. All right. There are also indications of partnership with others. Spirit's talking about individuals and society at large, and what Spirit calls the tapestry. All right. So that is one of the major shift and change items happening. Spirit has basically said, look, okay, we've been a year and a half, we've been studying together and delving deep and working hard and waiting for all the moments, the eclipses and all the astrological events. And Spirit's talking about my journey to Ireland that happened last year. And now it's time to start delving a little bit more deeply into the places that I've not been allowed to explore. But it's time now, because we're becoming ready, and because the types of relationships we're going to experience are shifting and changing. And I know that many of you know that. All right. So this actually, let me just toggle over for a second. This is the rune for partnership. So this is the overarching. Oh, wait a minute, I picked up the wrong one. The overarching idea for the fire element energy this month, September. Okay. There you go. It's beautiful. So I'm going to toggle back and read to you from the book. This is the rune Gebo, G-E-B-O. It is about partnership. It is about receiving a gift. Drawing this rune is an indication that partnership in some form is at hand. In love relationships, in business matters, in partnering of every kind, you are put on notice not to collapse yourself into that union. For true partnership is achieved only by separate and whole beings who retain their separateness even as they unite. Remember to let the winds of heaven dance between you. So that's true, Spirit saying, with anything that you may be in partnership with, including your journey. So there's an invitation and a request to come more deeply into alignment with the spiritual realm. And if you look at the two columns on the left, you understand the truth of that for the fire signs, because look at all the fire energy there. It's astounding. And if at the top of the fire sign element column, there is an indication of initiation. It is about great shift and change and taking a step deeper. Spirit saying yet again, a little deeper. So remember to let the winds of heaven dance between you. And it's, Spirit's been talking about this in all the readings that have come out so far this weekend. Be in the mystery. Try to let go of control. Try to let the energy guide you and respond to the energy and the impulse that comes from it within you. Right? So remember to let the winds of heaven dance between you and whatever partnership you form. At the same time, there is another aspect of partnership that you are being called to consider. For the path of partnership can lead you to the realization of a still greater union. Union with the higher self, union with the divine. The ultimate gift of this rune is the realization of the divine in all things. God always enters into equal partnerships. The rune of partnership has no reverse position, for it signifies the gift of freedom, from which flow all other gifts. I love that. Beautiful theme, in a sense, to hold in your mind, and Spirit says hold in your heart as I move through the reading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sort of review the astrology a little bit. I'm going to go up the column. I'll start with Aries, and we will go forward from there. So for this month, Aries, all signs now, hallelujah, there are no planets in retrograde, no personal planets in retrograde. Thank the gods and goddesses for that. And today, I believe, is the day that Mercury goes into direct motion. And I know that we're all ecstatic about that because, Spirit's saying, that's how deep I sent you. All the eclipses, all the retrogrades, just pushing everyone as deep as possible on this realm in order to do the introspection, the releasing, the healing that's meant to be done. So on the 6th of the month, Mercury and the Sun will be in your 6th house. And then on the 9th, there is a new moon coming, also in the 6th house of Aries. It is a time of great opportunity for communicating, for shining a light on the things that you want to achieve, whether it is in business, in your personal life, with your health, all the sixth house items, okay? But new beginnings, because we've just come through the eclipse. And whatever, Spirit's going to talk also a little bit about your purpose, and we are going to begin to discover and talk about your mission. So there are the things that Spirit was not willing to discuss because there was a period of preparation they had to come forward. So, yeah. So we're going to continue to talk about purpose, but we're going to start focusing on mission and a little bit on relationships in a general way. For the first, I think it's 9 days. For the first 9 days of the month of September, Aries, Venus is in your 7th house of love, committed relationships, growth, business partnerships. Again, it is a time for growing something new in whatever direction your purpose, joined with your mission, feels the impulse to drive forward. It is true that the first impulse that Spirit always still wants us to focus on is our spiritual life. All right? So how do you marry yourself to your spirit life? What does that mean for you to make a commitment in that way? and to continue to learn about your purpose, meaning the strings of your own energy, how it is you stand in the world, and what that brings to the world, and the sacred triad of your energy cohort. So, one of the things that Spirit is starting to unpack is more knowledge and understanding about how we can access the different types of energy that each attenuation set point, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, carries as a Spirit's talking about Spirit's talking about a ball of light, right? Because you're fire sign set point. When you understand your energy, what that really means, and you begin to delve deep into the attenuation, we're going to be able to start learning about how to draw from your cohort. And that's why the readings are joined together now. So, Aries, I'm going to toggle back to the cards for you. On the 10th, Venus then moves and joins Jupiter in your 8th house, which is a really deep, really powerful, amazing combination. So, the 6th house, the 7th house, the 8th house, and Spirit wants you to really understand the movement of your own being in light of the astrology and the Spirit saying the notions that come out through the cards and the runes. So pay attention to your movement this month and how you move through the cycles of the moon as well. So on the 10th, when Venus joins Jupiter in the 8th house, it is a very powerful combination of energy. I trust that most of you know what the 8th house is all about. It's a good time to resolve legal matters, investments. It has to do with finance, shared finance, all those kinds of things. So as you move from the 6th to the 7th to the 8th house, understand the progression of energy that's available to you given your set point and what your purpose and your mission would like to achieve, and how the nature of the astrology supports your energy set point as you grow and shift and change and come deeper into the nature of your power. The other thing, I know you all know this, and Spirit's been talking about it all weekend. It's been kind of shocking to me because Spirit didn't say, okay, now we're going to do this. The cards just jumped out and came very differently, and the whole nature of the discussion changed. So I wasn't even given notice, but I'm going with it as best I can. The 8th house, the deep place where Spirit's saying the nature of sexual power and our sexual desires and that expression of love energy through that venue, Spirit saying, that's where it resides. And so as you see the energy rise, Spirit says, think about that. Also, another, Spirit's talking about the rise of sexual energy. If you relate that to the rise of the energy through the astrology during the month, you'll understand the impact of your ability to bring your power into a place of creation. Okay, so that's what it's about. And if you have a partner and you're relating in that way, great. But the thing that Spirit's correcting me, Spirit says don't say but. And it is also true that it is now time for us to begin to delve very deeply into who we are in any given moment, in a given month, when we study the energy and the astrology. If we decide to engage with another human being or pursue a relationship, who are you as you show up? All right, I'm going to toggle over. So there was a long discussion about this in all the readings so far that have come out. I think the earth signs were a little bit off the hook, but not completely. But the fire signs, I think we're going in deep to that notion of relationship and the responsibility that we hold now that we've been trained. Spirit says, who are you? And if you want to pursue someone or invite someone into your life, who are you? Given all the things that we're going to talk about today, it's time for you to own it and to show up fully and bravely and honestly and ask for what your desires are and explain to your potential partner, this is why I'm here. This is what my needs are. This is the moment I'm standing in, and I'd like to connect with you. Are you available? That's what Spirit's been saying, right? Like that. It's time to just bring maturity to human relationships versus what's been happening in the past, which is it's all about filling our own need. It is our responsibility to fill our need and to stand clear and present in our place. Fully aware of our purpose, meaning our energy. Okay, Spirit's saying display. Our energy display, how we connect with our own cohort, how we connect with the tapestry, all the things that we desire, all of it. That's what being a whole person is. And then from that place, understanding how you desire and achieve your mission. That's the thing that needs to be brought into partnership in a general sense. But if on a human level, you're going into partnership with another person, that is how Spirit wants us to arrive. And hopefully we all know that, but I'm being asked to talk about it, okay? So on the 11th of the month, Mars, the ruler of Aries, goes direct. And I'm an Aries rising, so I'm leaping for joy. I'm literally counting the minutes. I can't wait because, like all of you, I have felt literally just like there's a stone in front of me, the retrogrades, forcing me to stand still because I don't like it. Nobody does, right? We're all trying to move our dreams and ambitions forward. So I think another reason why the deep dive this month. So Mars is going direct in the 11th house of in Aries. That's all about being very social, being dealing with groups of people. Okay, that type of socialization. And Spirit's talking about, time to step out into society. It's a time when you can really inspire others because you have Mars in the 11th house. You will naturally, most of you, see an increase in your social life if you decide to take up the energy and move it forward. So I guess that's the other thing, the astrology stuff, it's about opportunities. It is not about, sorry, I have to plug my computer in. It's not about this is a prediction and this is going to absolutely happen. You have to take hold of the energy yourself and decide what you'd like to manifest and how you would like to wield the energy from your set point as the month goes on. So then on the 22nd, the sun transits into your second house, illuminating again the sector that has to do with self-esteem and self-love and finance. So, it's Spirit saying it's the money show this month. If you can capture your purpose and attach it to your mission and begin to understand how to manifest that, the aspects are available for you. And, that's the other thing about the 8th house. Venus in the 7th house and then transiting into the 8th house with Jupiter, very fortunate, very deep. And it's all about relating, isn't it? So how is it that you would like to relate to the world with your purpose and with your mission? On the 24th, there's a full moon in Aries, and it brings illumination and culminations, of course, as always, and it is a moment for new beginnings. It's a great time to illuminate issues that are going on within relationships, given the cards that we see, and increase balance in all relationships because of all the aspects that are there for the astrology. All right. So the card that's here for Aries is the beautiful courtship of knowledge. So all the things the Spirit's been talking about, right? In this way. The courtship of knowledge is about coming to a moment where, all right, Spirit's talking about awakenings. And, it's true. There may be some of you out there who are going to have some really shocking awakenings. Some realization. That's what this is about. This is about all of a sudden coming to a moment where you have a deep realization about your connection to the divine or about your awareness of the divinity of your own life, your own purpose. Yeah, okay, that's what Spirit's saying. Yes. Okay, about the divinity of your purpose. Okay, so just to review, if you're new and you don't know, my spirit guides talk about purpose. Being wound through the energetic presence of your incarnate being while you're here. Right? So you are your purpose. I am my purpose. It is our purpose to delve deep into that and to develop ourselves and our awareness of the energy, how we, Spirit keeps saying wield it. I think because, the fire signs are seen as warriors in a very deep way. So, how do you wield your purpose? Your energy. How do you learn about it? How do you understand it? And then once you grasp some understanding, then what happens next? It is a moment of awakening. You fall to your knees and you come into direct communication with the divine, and you just well, kneel, stand, sit in those moments of your life. And I think in September you are going to um, come into acute awareness of this, right? And you're going to enter a new phase of courtship, given all the aspects of the astrology that support everything that this card talks about. All right, that's why Spirit wants me to start reviewing the astrology, so you can really see a little more deeply into the reading. Okay, so there you are, a new courtship coming your way, and it's with the angels, the divine, offering gifts, having a moment of realization, and in the moment of realization, see the blue in the hair? That is transformation. And it's interesting to me because it's coming into you from the crown chakra. That's the other thing. I really do think you might really have one of these moments. So if something like that happens and you want some help or assistance, the link to my website is in the Show More section below. Send me, or just go book a reading, okay? And if you're having this kind of Spirit saying this kind of reality, book a 2-hour reading because you're gonna need to go deep, all right? And we'll explore all the things that are happening. Spirit says to set you on your course, your mission course, because your purpose has become clear, right? Your own energy. So that's exciting, wonderful news. Then, going forward from there, let's talk a little bit about Leo. So, Leo, when you look up the column and you think about partnership, you think about the impact of that rune, the energy of that rune affecting you, okay? And I know you're all doing it. Look to the left as I'm talking, and you'll see something deeper about what the card and the astrology and Spirit are trying to tell you, okay? A lot of indication of partnership in all kinds of ways this month. So, Leo, like all the fire signs, you're going to come to this great sense of momentum at long last because things are going direct, and because Mars is going direct. All those things are obvious, but in terms of the energy for you, Mercury joins the Sun in your second house. Look at that. Okay? That's a major arcana card. Leo, I think for the fire signs, it's true for me really deeply, and I think we're all just having a moment. There's going to be an awakening of some kind. It might be the type of awakening that is so powerful that you need help with that. So allow yourself to know that might. Okay, Spirit says it is on offer if you would like to have it. And it's going to require us to take some action in order to bring the fullness of that event into us, into our purpose. All right. So there's the card, the Sun card, obviously, and there's the transformation. You see, the markings, having been through an initiation process, emerging, changed, and transformed, and able to stand in the simple, the power of the light of the sun and experience simple joy, simple pleasure, sort of arriving into this moment. It is an attenuation of what we saw with Aries. Let me toggle back. So, Spirit's talking a little bit about the rise of the energy through the cohort, meaning the grouping of the 3 fire signs. And each piece of this journey that is broken out into astrological set points so that we can understand. Spirit wants us to weave that together again and understand that you are not separate from the triad of your astrological sign. And there may be times when you would like to draw from Leo if you're a Sagittarius, or if you're an Aries and you want to draw from the Sag energy. That's, again, another reason why I think Spirit has shifted the readings this way, so that we can begin to understand and literally use the energy of our purpose in its totality. So let's see, back to the astrology. Mercury joining the Sun in the second house of self-awareness and empathy and self-esteem and finance. It's bringing your power home to you in a way that's really profound. Having moved through this moment of courtship, the courtship of the knowledge that comes through Aries, it's going to affect you as well. There's a new moon also in the second house. Set your intentions. That comes, I think, on the 9th. In what direction would you like to set your intention? So I assume that all of you know this, but when a new moon comes and these aspects are here, it's very powerful to achieve your goals and desires. Write it down. I think I'm going to schedule a live stream session about that. How do we manifest? What's the way that we can do this together and that you can manifest all the strings of energy that are coming through this reading in your cohort? You can assist with that. That's the other thing that Spirit says, it's not just about taking energy from, you can send energy into the triad of your set point in order to empower it. I love that idea. So on the 10th of the month, Venus and Jupiter join together in the 11th house. No, pardon me, the 4th house. Very expansive, beautiful energy, peace and love and bounty and beauty in your sense of home. It is about coming home to yourself very deeply, and it is about beautifying the place in which you live. So physically, literally here on the earth, and it may just be some feng shui, some little things that you do. It's also, again, we're also talking about your internal home. It's time to really beautify that and bring it into the place of honor that it deserves and respects. So let's see, Mars goes direct, of course, on the 11th, and it goes direct in the 7th house of committed relationships, business, marriage, love, real love, true love, Spirit says. So, and if you look to the left, look at the card that's standing there, Leo, next to you. It's about you standing with a partnership, isn't it? In a new place, and I will get to that row and we'll explore that a little more deeply. But so, again, reflecting the astrology and just knowing that these aspects are here to support you, to move your purpose and your mission forward, and to assist you if you should decide, or if you are already in a relationship. There are responsibilities that come with that desire and that movement into your life. Because it does affect your purpose, and it does affect your mission, doesn't it? So, what I always say about myself is, when I feel ready, and I'm standing in the center of my own being, then I will look from there and see who's around or who I can manifest or whatever to come and join me, right? Because I've been a solitary being many years for that reason. It wasn't something that was meant to be in my life, and I knew I was meant to be a little hermit, right? So I'm looking into the astrology of the earth signs and the fire signs, and I'm knowing, things are changing. So I feel like Spirit's putting me on notice. We'll see what happens. On the 22nd, the Sun transits into the 3rd house, about communication. So do you see how beautifully all these energies are queued up for you this month, Leo? Whatever it is you'd like to commit yourself to, one of the primary needs that you will have is the ability to communicate clearly, lovingly, with your passion, with your energy, with your firepower set point in a way that's kind and loving and gentle, so that the truth of yourself and your desire and your situation can all come to the surface and be expressed. It's a really astounding array of energies. Of course, we have the full moon on the 24th. It's in your ninth house. Perfect. Learning, travel, a new spirit direction, and meetings, right? Fated meetings with other people in order to move you deeper into your spiritual exploring. And of course, it has an effect on yourself as well. So that's beautiful. Can't ask for much more than that. So let's talk a little bit about Sag. And Sag, when I saw this come out, I was so grateful. Look at that. Sag, you guys, you know how I feel about you. I just, as a fellow fire sign, I know a little bit about what you experience and how you experience the energy, right? So, as an Aries rising, and I have actually 5 sisters, and one of them is a Leo, and we really bond with each other in a way that's beautiful. So I have an understanding of that. When I see the beauty of the love energy that comes through a Sagittarius, it helps me understand my set point. So I really do, and I always feel very tender when I'm talking about the Sagittarius set point. So glad to see this. We know that you love so completely and that you have this passion about your own mission and your own desires and the way you want to be in the world, the way you want to see the world, the way you want to create the world around you. And this is your moment. That is a prophecy. It's a literal new beginning. So, about skills that you're going to be developing going forward, and not just developing, you are creating. You see this city in the background? That is the power of creation. That is the shining city that you want to create, right? Society, Spirit's talking about. That, look at the mystical energy around that creation. Wow. So this beautiful young warrior who comes forward fully vested with his own power, kind of what Spirit was saying, right? When you become vested in your power, in your purpose, then the next step happens. And so again, if you look at the rise of the energy through the cards, through the cohort, and all the astrology, you understand. This is where the fire sign energy is going. This month in September is predominantly held for the cohort by Sag, the lovers of the fire sign energy. I just know because of what happens to my heart chakra when I talk about Sagittarius. All right. So for those of you that have been following along, Spirit's talking about this long journey that has come forward. You know what I'm talking about, right? Pain, sorrow over the state of humanity, and a deep inner drive to create change. And so you've been also, Spirit says, okay, we've been through our training. That's the sacred spear of Lu. See how wild and free and unruly that guy is? I love him. Look at that young man. Naked from the will center through the heart chakra, throat chakra adorned but not blocked, all the way up. Wild and free, he has been transformed and he's ready to send his gifts and his intentions and his desires out into the world to create his vision. And this, actually, I can never do it. Okay, so the spear is a magical instrument and it does clear away obstacles. So that's what he's doing. He's using his energy to clear away the obstacles that stand in the way of his vision. All right, perfect. So for the Sag folks, this month there's just huge momentum and it's coming through in the cards. Venus is into your 11th house for the first 9 days of the month. And that's the intention you feel in your heart when you have Venus in the 11th house. It is about love of community, love of the world, wanting to be very social. Put your desires out there in a way that has an actual impact, and so that you can create your mission. Okay, Spirit's talking about, there's another word popping through. Creating your mission vision, I guess. On the 6th, Mercury joins the Sun in your 10th house of career. So if you think about the joining of those two things as the energy rises through your cohort and culminates into the Sagittarius heart chakra, that is so open, the will center, open, ready to use your fire energy to send into the world the skill set, the desires, the purpose, the mission. And it's an augury, it's a prophecy, it's a very new starting point. So you have everything lined up for you along with the power of your cohort. Right? So I love that the Sun and Venus and Mercury are joining together in this way. The 10th house is about career, it's about achievement, it's about social standing, it's about how you are recognized in the world. On the 9th, there is a new moon in your 10th house, perfectly aligned for the achievement of all the things I just talked about, being seen. It is a moment when you can tweak the options that you have available to you in social ties, in business standing, in your reputation, etc. On the 10th, Venus and Jupiter transit into your 12th house. And it's interesting. This type of transit is going on for every single astrological cohort. Everybody's going deep. We've come out of the deep. The energy is going directly forward, and now we're being sent back in. I find that fascinating, and I think it's about finishing the job that the retrogrades and the eclipses bid us to do, so to speak. So Venus and Jupiter in the 12th house, that is about joyful, expansive ability to go into a form of exploration about your internal landscape, your intuitive knowledge, about your love desires. Spirit says, think about that very deeply as the month goes on. All right. And then on the 11th, Mars goes direct, hallelujah, and it's in your 3rd house. All about communication, learning, networking, affecting relationships, the ability to make not just connections, but like clear decisions and connecting with the right people. Okay. So on the 22nd, the Sun goes into your 11th house. Dreams and wishes. Again, it's amazing, isn't it? All of these transits that are happening, and given the way the cards are reflecting the energy to help you understand what's possible in the month of September. And Spirit's reminding me, and don't forget, we're going into the autumn equinox, the days of the equinox, when the energy shifts again, and we take whatever we can cull from this month and utilize it to begin going into the deep days of winter. At least here in the Northern Hemisphere, all right, pondering deeply, given the implications of the autumn equinox that carry us through to the return of the light that happens on the 21st of December. So let's see, I'm sorry, Spirit distracted me. Okay, Sun in your 11th house on the 22nd, and on the 24th, full moon in your 5th house. I love that. I love that because you're going so deep. And the full moon is about illuminations and culminations. And it's in your 5th house. So what I want to say to you, Sag, is do me a favor, will you? Literally, will you go dancing? It's about fun. The fifth house, fun. Go have fun. Be lighthearted. You deserve it. You've worked for it. Take this joyful energy, this boundless forward motion, and go out dancing. Literally, go do it. Okay? Go make a fool of yourself dancing in the moonlight. Okay? One night if you can, because it's just a wonderful, light-hearted way to meet the full moon, the culmination, the transition point. So do your best to capture these energies, to understand what is on offer. All right. So what I'm going to do next is we're going to go through the runes. All right. And we're going to look at the bottom line of the energy. It is, in a sense, the foundation of the reading. And Spirit says, bear with me, because one of the things that's true about this today is I'm learning into this. I've never done this before. So we're going to learn together all kinds of new things. And this is the set point of this. Okay? A prophecy about new things coming forward. Thank you, Sag. Okay, so I'm going to toggle back. Let me show you, first of all, I love this. Look at that. That's beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to toggle back so you can see the runes while I read to you from the book. And we're going to go through them. Spirit's talking about the language of the runes so that you can understand another pull of the energy. Spirit's talking about pull and drift. That's interesting. In terms of the deeper aspects of all the things I just said. All right, so let me jump into that. And I apologize, I forgot to tell you, that is the rune for breakthrough and transformation. Of course, what else would it be, right? And it indicates daylight. Here is the final rune belonging to the cycle of initiation. Well, of course. That's getting me all choked up. You've done it. Fire signs, you did it. You came through the cycle, and it's been a cycle that's been going on for a long time. And here we arrive because we've been willing to stand up and do our work and struggle and fall, Spirit says, and stand back up again. Drawing this rune often signals a major shift or breakthrough in the process of self-change, a complete transformation in attitude, a 180-degree turn. For some, the transition is so radical that they are no longer able to live the ordinary life in the ordinary way. So again, Spirit's saying, look at the column that indicates the three energy set points and the completion, the fullness of the fire sign energy. And there's the story. It's in there, okay? So because the timing is right, the outcome is assured, although not from the present vantage point, predictable. In each life, there comes at least one moment which, if recognized and seized, transforms the course of that life forever. And I do believe that's why Spirit is wanting the runes here, wanting to bring the group together for a group meeting, partly so that you can all be here together literally, energetically, to hear these messages because of the issue, or not the issue, the capability of harmonic resonance. So there's as usual, I keep getting interrupted, as you can tell. There's a lot that Spirit wants to talk about. And because I'm learning into this process, I think I'm going to get interrupted a lot. So bear with me. Oh, gosh. All right. So the outcome is assured but not predictable. Be in the mystery. In each life, there comes a moment which, if you recognize it and seize it, it will transform you. Rely, therefore, on radical trust, even though the moment may call for you to leap empty-handed into the void. And look to the top of the column. That's what the initiate does. It is about leaping into the void with blind trust. Literally, here I'm going to show you the card. It's been coming out for every sign. We're all going through an initiation type of moment, an awakening that brings this type of commitment to us and the desire for it. It's about sacrifice. That's the goddess of sacrifice, right? And she bestows the sacred information and the amulet to the devotee, right? The initiate, who's willing to accept the energy, accept the burden that comes with it, because it is a sacrifice, and leap into that journey blindfolded, not knowing what the outcome is going to be. This is the dedicator of sacred lore. That's what an initiate is, or a devotee. And I think, Marie Antoinette, I know you're here, and my God, I just want to hug you and kiss you. Okay, Spirit's talking to you. Love it. So, it's just beautiful the way these things are unfolding this month. It's filling me with joy. Okay, so rely on radical trust. Even though the moment may call you to leap empty-handed into the void, with this rune, your warrior nature reveals itself. Okay, let's see, I think a major period of achievement and prosperity is often introduced by this rune. The darkness is behind you, daylight has come. Nevertheless, you are reminded not to collapse yourself into thoughts for the future or to behave recklessly in your new situation. Considerable hard work can be involved in a time of transformation. Undertake a decision to do it joyfully. So, the second message about not collapsing yourself into the situation, and partnership, yeah, stand in your wholeness, keep doing your work, don't collapse yourself into the situation. It's easy to do. And so when you enter into these partnerships, in whichever way it's going to happen, and it is going to happen this month for sure, stand in your center. Stand right in your center. So that's the other message about that, and it's coming through the room. So Spirit just wanted me to remind you about partnership, all right? Now we're going to go on to the next rune that sits on the column that has the chalice, which I also love. This is the rune of strength. I'm going to toggle over and show it to you, okay? There it is. Isn't that amazing? Beautiful. All right. So the rune of strength, it signifies manhood, womanhood. Again, another message about standing in your center and standing in your strength, whatever your set point may be. And because Spirit talks so much through me about the yin and yang and the sacred marriage of male and female, and we see that through the cards, don't we? So there's more to come about that, I believe. It also signifies the wild ox and how hard it is to tame that beast. So this is a rune of terminations and new beginnings. And drawing this rune indicates that the life you have been living has outgrown its form. Okay, there it is. I'm just laughing because I know it's true for me. And, I'm an earth sign with fire rising, and I'm just, sometimes I don't want to let go. I get so fixed and so comfortable. Spirit saying, yep, that's what that's all about. So all of us, we're moving on. And we're being given the energy and the information and astrological set points to help us do that, because we are all transforming. I'm very excited because I've been talking about the tapestry for a year and a half, I think. We've arrived. It's time. Okay. So the old form must die so that the new energy can be released into its new form. Again, look at that column about the cohort, right? Aries, Leo, Sag. This is the rune of passage, and as such, part of the cycle of initiation. Positive growth and change may involve a descent into darkness as part of the cycle of perpetual renewal. And we did, didn't we? Sort of feel like, okay, Spirit, you know what? We got you. Check, done that. My God. As in nature, this progression consists of 5 aspects: death, decay, fertilization, gestation, and rebirth. Events occurring now may well prompt you to undergo a death within yourself. Since self change is never coerced, we are always free to resist and remain mindful that the new life is always greater than the old. So that's exactly what I was just talking about, right? All that resistance. And descent into darkness means you got to go search your soul. All the stuff the Spirit's been talking about so far this morning. So prepare for opportunity disguised as loss. Wow, it's interesting. This has come up. I think this has come up also in every single set point. So really, as the readings go around the wheel, understand this is everybody. This is all of us, and it is really important to be vibrating our energy, whatever that might be. All right, and to be able to come into harmonic resonance with the other vibratory types of energy that exist in your sacred triad as a fire sign. So this loss could involve the loss of someone or something to which you have an intense emotional bond, and through which you are living a part of your life. A part of your life that must now be retrieved so you can live it out for yourself. That's Spirit's talking about. There's no more giving your power away. That's why Spirit's talking about relationships the way the information has come through. In some way, that bond is being severed. A relationship is being radically changed, a way of life coming to an end. Seek among the ashes and discover a new perspective and a new strength. The ancient symbol for this rune is the aurochs, a wild ox. When the wild ox was domesticated, it was an immensely difficult task. It could transport heavy loads and burdens. Learn to adapt yourself to the demands of such a creative time. Firm principles attached to this rune. At the same time, humility is called for, since in order to rule, you must learn how to serve. This rune puts you on notice that your soul and the universe support the new growth. And the name of the rune is Uruz, U-R-U-Z, if you want to look it up online. Wow. I know when that message comes out about strength, but being humble and in your humility and having the strength to let something go. And look at the perfection of the card that it's sitting on, right? I feel so happy and joyful to be in partnership with my spirit guides because of the way they speak to us and the love and support that we get. So there you go. Okay, the judgment of art. So this is on the line for Aries. So this is part of what Aries is working to achieve. There is a new vessel. But whatever doesn't work anymore, the old stuff, it's going to fall away. It is the right process to be in. And you see how there's a line all the way down this card, all the way up and down right through the middle? There's the severance, radical severance, leaving a way of life behind. And it's whatever we've been stuck in, because the new vessel replaces that which didn't work. So don't worry about it. Just let it go. Jump into the void. Very true for Aries. This is a global the runes are a global message, okay? But because it's sitting where it's sitting on the line of Aries, really true. Really totally true. And as we go through the month, I would love to hear back from you on the thread of discussion below the video. What are you releasing? What have you come to understand? And how is your strength that you're stepping into with all the support of all the planets? How is it supporting you to be able to take those steps? Love to hear that. Okay. So, last one, sitting on the Chariot card. That is the rune, of course, for journey. What else would it be? I love Spirit. Oh gosh. Okay, hang on. I'm going to show it to you if I can figure out how to pick it up with my fingers. There it is. Okay. Beautiful. All right. And there's the card attached to it. Just to drive home the message. This is the Chariot card. There's the Great Mother. And Spirit says, and there's her daughter, the feminine energy, moving into its power in the full light of all of this beautiful fire energy, and having the ability to drive her dreams, her ambitions, that which she seeks, the place her destination, all of that, because she is activated by the energy. She has the power to go forward and choose her path and figure out which direction she wants to go. Love it. It's perfect. Okay, so that having been said, all of that happy stuff, the rune that supports that movement and that shift and change, as we let go of things and we come into our partnership that pushes this energy forward, this is the rune. I think it's radio. It's R-A-I-D-O. Maybe it's radio. I don't know. I'm going to have to force myself to go and learn how to pronounce these things because I haven't taken the time to do it. So, journey, communication, union, and reunion. So, in light of all the things that Spirit's been talking about, all right, this rune is concerned with communication and with the attunement of something that has two sides, two elements, and with the ultimate union that comes at the end of a journey when what is above and what is below are united and of one mind. And Spirit's talking about the mystical realm and the human. That is the partnership. Very clearly, I see now coming with the runes coming out attached to these cards. Two sides, right? So the divinatory aspect of our nature, that which is still connected to the divine, even though we're here walking the earth. Your inner worth will mount. At such a time, you are not intended to rely entirely upon your own power. Instead, ask what constitutes right action. Ask through prayer or meditation, through addressing the witness, self, capital S, and the teacher within. So be your own teacher, be your own witness as you take these journeys through the month of September. Once you are clear, you can neutralize your refusal to let right action flow through you. Isn't that interesting? Following a rune that talked to us about letting things go. Love it. Not intent on movement. Be rather content to wait. While you wait for this process to unfold, keep on removing your resistance. As the obstructions give way, all remorse arising from trying to make things happen disappears. The journey is toward self-healing, self-change, and union. You are concerned here with nothing less than unobstructed, perfect union. But the union of heaven and earth cannot be forced. So regulate any excesses in your life. Material advantages must not weigh heavily upon this journey of the self towards the self. Stand apart even from like-minded others. The notion of strength in numbers does not apply at this time. For this part of the journey, the soul's journey, it cannot be shared. So, it's a way of saying you go alone when you go on these kind of deep mystical journeys. And yes, you're going to have love and support very clearly, but it is something that you are doing as an independent being. Again, Spirit's reminding me to look backward at the bottom row and remember, these are all the aspects of the partnership that Spirit wanted to talk with us about as a starting point. Okay, these are all the things that affect that partnership. So, another of the cycle runes, this rune carries within its form the rune for joy. For now the end is in sight. That's interesting. I love that. You are no longer burdened by what you left behind. Heaven above you and earth below you unite within you to support you on your way. A simple prayer for the soul's journey is this: I will to will thy will. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me because I'm looking at the page. Maybe I should show it to you. Let's see if I can get that into the camera. No, it's not going to work. All right. I will to will thy will. You know, it's a way of saying, all right, I'm going to use my will to support the will of the divine so that that will can come forward. This type of prayer of intention is proper on any occasion, and it is particularly appropriate as a preamble to healing. Interesting. So, Spirit says, just as a teaser, look up the column that rune sits upon. Beautiful. And that is about healing. That's what the whole column is about. So we're going to get there. So let's toggle over and talk about the spirit line, you know, the initial spirit line, and how it affects each element in the cohort. So on the bottom row, we see the elopement of skill. And, you know, Spirit is talking and the astrology is talking all about sacred union, how the astrology supports this, what it is when you come into this new courtship as an Aries, a courtship of knowledge. And of course, again, you know, Spirit's talking about awakening and whatever. So the name of the card is the elopement of skill. There we go. All right. See all the transformation, fire sign energy, yin and yang, rising into the heavens to have this fire sign moment because you've come to this courtship and that's what supports it. And that's the desire. You know, when you come into this moment, naturally, a courtship leads to union in all the ways that Spirit's been speaking about. And all the stuff Spirit's been saying is like, you know, if you have a meeting, if you are getting married, what a wonderful month to get married. Oh my God. It's incredible, isn't it? So if that's true in your life, congratulations to you because you have picked a fabulous astrological moment. And I think it's a good time to, if you are in the Spirit saying, if you're in the mood to ask for somebody's hand in marriage, this is a moment. You know, always use the supporting astrology to the best of your ability. So if you're in a fire sign and that's the intention in your heart, perfect. Just look at the astrology. When, I can't remember, and I put my pages aside, you know, when is Venus and Jupiter in the 7th house? What's going on there? What would be the day for me to set the chart of my relationship, my marriage, right? How fun is that? It's awesome. Okay, so this beautiful sacred relationship for the cohort, that is the basis of the shift and change that we've been talking about. And if you look up that column, from there, the next aspect, when you enter that kind of a committed relationship or a courtship and you have an elopement into that kind of alignment, then you again enter a new place. Spirit says the elopement of skill, that notion that comes through that card. For this reading, it's a prophecy, all right, about things that are to come and the way the fire sign folks can begin to navigate their way through the relationships that come, whether it's business or love relationships with your children, with your existing committed relationships, all relationships, okay? Here's the next phase, and it's held by the energy signature of Leo. It's another new courtship, the secondary courtship, skill. Having come across standing on a new shore, there's the male and female energy, and there's Leo. I love the way Spirit picks these cards. And you know, what I always say about this card is, look at that, standing in the relationship in the full light of the sun. And there's the feminine aspect. She's dressed in green. There is new growth. And the male aspect is there, dressed in that deep blue transformation. There's transformation going on because their energies are joined. So the transformation and the growth will affect both of them. And they each have vessels at their backs, a lot of gifts coming for them. They have to live into the mystery of this relationship they don't know, right? So Spirit's talking about, again, about the astrology and the strings of energy. Please do your best to begin to pay attention to how the reading and all these things that I'm speaking, Spirit says, attenuate themselves in the strings of energy that make up the cohort. Spirit just won't stop talking about it and wants me to remind you in a nearly constant way, so bear with it, okay? Okay, so Leo, that's the nature of your involvement in relationships as we go through the month of September. Understanding that there's a new place that you're standing because you're coming into the full light of the sun. All right? Emerging, having come out of the eclipses, changed. Committed, actually, this is a major arcana card, the protector of sacred lore, sacred information, standing on the ground of the ancients in the full light of the sun, coming forward into this new place in your life with all the abundance that you need, and able to understand and live into simple joy and pleasure. Okay? That's beautiful. With the giant lion-hearted energy that you do hold. So again, Spirit just wants to remind everybody, I think part of what's happening is, when you do travel, if you've been blessed with the ability to travel, there's something ahead. It's magical, right? I've traveled into lots of different places on the earth, and I always go alone. That's sort of been my karma. I just go by myself. I get on a plane, I fly to Nepal or something like that. And I think because of my Aries, I just want adventures. And you do feel yourself crossing a boundary, and that something, at least that's how I feel about it, something's going to happen. And you meet all kinds of people. And it's just your heart chakra opens, your imagination opens, and you immerse yourself in the experience. So that's what Spirit's talking about, all right? So if you look at that left-hand column and all the indications for relationship, that is the way we are meant to arrive into a relationship if that's what we want in terms of our personal lives. It's also very true with the entire world. That's the overarching relationship. That's why we're here together, to talk about that, right? All right, so I'm going to toggle back. I'm so excited about how this is coming out. All right, so above that, as the energy continues to rise through the cohort, we see the beautiful Queen of Art. And, okay. I'm getting a little giddy. Okay, look. There she is. I think I got it backwards. There. Okay, that's how. Look at how she sits looking into this intention of this beautiful warrior. The yin and yang, again, she's the queen. He is intent on manifesting and sending his energy outward to create what his vision tells him to do. And she's sitting there right next to him, saying, yeah, I'm here, sitting enshrined in the triple spiral that Spirit was just talking about through the room. She is highly creative. She sits next to the fire, the passion of creation. And her gifts and her discernment and her creativity, she's very focused, she's very balanced. Fire, energy, vision. That kind of creative vision. And we see those two things sitting literally aligned together. All right. And here's the other thing that I love about this. Look all the way to the top. There's her mate, the King of Art, standing right at the top of the reading. Taking all of that energy that's rising up through the spirit part, focus for the fire sign people this month in September. That is Lugh, and his name is spelled Lugh if you want to go look him up. And it is his spear that this young warrior, this young Sagittarius warrior, this young Sagittarius energy, having been renewed, that's the spear that he's holding. He's come into his ability to wield this intention and this weapon as a warrior. And it's coming through the runes. So look at how they are also aligned on a diagonal field. That's phenomenal to me. So, the King of Art, the energy rising from the bottom, where we see the beautiful elopement of skill, the ability to use relationships to ascend, to use the energy for ascension into the deeper aspects of what that means and begin to come into relationships in a new way with the beautiful, lion-hearted energy of a Leo and the creative ability of a Sag, delivered into the King of Art, the sacred spear of Lu, here to clear away obstacles and to help us go into the mystical realm to see the vision. He has extreme clarity, activated at the heart chakra. He's a very powerful warrior, a spirit warrior, in order to clear away the obstacles. So whatever our collective vision is, as individuals and as fire sign set point, he is here to help us find our way and to find our vision and to know our mission and to marry ourselves to our purpose. Can't ask for more than that, can you? Okay, so I think I just did, hang on, I just did mucked up. Oh, God. All right, wait, I lost my photos. There it is. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so the King of Art stands next to the Dedicator of Lar. The energy with which we enter into our spiritual initiation because of all the things that I've talked about. Clearing away the obstacles so that we can make a deep commitment very clearly with no obstacles left in our heart or in our energy set point. So look at the way the energy initiates through the Aries set point. That's what Spirit is telling us. And rises on those two leftmost left-hand columns. Rises up to the top to these moments of clearing away obstacles, supporting each set point on their journey. And Spirit's talking about, if you were playing an instrument, these are the notes that would create the song that you're working on or that your heart is drawn to. And the energy continues to rise, the harmonic resonance deepens, come to a moment of initiation, and it is as a group because the initiation card sits on the very top of the column that is about our set point. And when the initiation comes, of course, on the new moon, you step into the prophecy. So again, take a look at that card of prophecy. It is diagonally aligned with another prophecy, which is diagonally aligned with the King of Art and sitting next to the Queen. This is such, I thought last month's readings were intense. This is blowing my mind. And it gives me great hope and great security for my own process because there's a lot of shift and change going, and I am leaping into the void and I am releasing things. My intention is to create something, to shift and change and create something new and step into the destiny that's meant for me. So, alignment and prophecy. And, oh wow, okay, I'm stumbling over words. I was going to say initiation, and Spirit was kind of biting my tongue. It's an initiation type of moment. It is about marrying yourself to the energy and the prophecy and becoming, the initiation has to do with coming into your spiritual warriorship as the runes spoke to. So when you take that commitment and you step through and you see yourself and you bind yourself to yourself, this is the next place that the energy flows to. That's the augury of knowledge. Okay? A prophecy. So we see also back to back a male figure taking initiation and a female figure being ignited. That's what this prophecy is about. It's about coming into self-activation. So Spirit told me read to you from the book about that. And there's the new moon. Okay? So take a look at your astrology. What's going on with the new moon this month? And you know what Spirit's talking about? That's why Venus is in the fire sign element in the very first part of the month, in order to ignite us, to be ready for, where'd it go? This and this. Okay? So hang on a second. I'm going to let you look into the cards while I read this to you. Let me just grab my book. One of the things that's new for me is I have new equipment, and I'm not used to the way my desk is anymore, so bear with me. It's going to take me a moment. The beautiful augury of knowledge. You know, because we've moved into initiation and all the awareness in the way that we have, that's the other thing that's of note about this reading, the way the energy has moved. Knowledge is the final destination point within this deck. So the cards come out, the suits come out, there's battle, and then there's skill, and then art, and then knowledge. So this is the place we're flowing into. So the augury of knowledge, the divinatory meaning is about prosperity, ecstasy, sovereignty, treasure, spiritual riches, the touchstone of self-realization, recognition, and inauguration. So again, perfectly placed within the reading. That is the goddess Morfessa. She imparts potent knowledge of the earth's wisdom to every cell of our bodies. So you know it's interesting because I want to show you the card again. Hang on a second. One of the things that Spirit has started to talk about is relationship, obviously. And yesterday was sort of, my spirit guides are a little snarky about, I hope I'm not alienating people, but you know, twin flame. And people who have that experience, or they call it that, that's what they talk about. When you come across somebody and you literally feel yourself ignited and you feel yourselves vibrate and all that kind of, I've been through it, actually more than once. We're going to start having these moments I've been promising you. And so Spirit is backing me up. That's how I feel. So just be aware, okay? You are meant to be activated. That is what our journey is for. We all know it, but we've never really believed. And now we're going to start experiencing it. So Spirit says, time to believe it. Jump into your initiation, okay? Follow the flow of the energy and know that it's coming so that when it comes, you can engage with it in the way it's meant to be engaged with and have your activation and feel yourself. What a shock if we finally come to a moment where we feel our spiritual being, literally. I mean, how shocking is that, right? Okay. So I'm going to toggle back because Spirit's talking about all the cards. Like, look at all the cards like that. Okay. So Morfessa imparts this potent knowledge into every cell of our being. The ancestral bequest of our blood lineage and the acclaim of our spiritual kindred. So again, Spirit's saying, look at the column that indicates the 3 energetic set points. Those who are companions to our soul's quest create a unique wealth in each of us. What are you being called upon to use from your innate spiritual treasury? And so what we're being called upon to utilize is the next column that Morfessa stands on the top. Okay? So, you know, again, we see the rise of the energy. The Aries set point opening the way for some reason. And it has everything to do with the attenuation of the Aries vibration. And I think that's what we're going to be learning about a little bit. There's going to be more coming through me over time about that. For this month, it is Aries that, okay, you know what? Here's what Spirit's saying. It is Aries that strikes the string in order to set the vibration so that all the signs can attenuate themselves and then add to that their own notes. It's interesting that Spirit's using music. It is the vibration that we are setting together, okay? That's why the cards are coming out, the message is coming out the way it is. So, you know, Aries, judgment. Aries people are going to have to let something go. It's just true, and it's going to be true for everybody, but it's going to be maybe that acute crisis that the runes talked about for the Aries people this month. There's this beautiful bonding, this ascension moment, and of course when that happens, you do let something go. And most of the time, you do it willingly. If it's a process that's challenging for you, you got my love and you have my support while you're going through it. There's a little bit of that going on here for me, but mostly I'm just feeling so excited. I don't even care. It's like, all right, that's done. I'm kind of sad about that, but thank you, and I'm moving on. That's how I feel about it. I hope it's true for all of you. I hope it's that easy. So the next card above that is the beautiful Rememberer of Lore. And just so you know, the Rememberer of Lore is attached to the Leo journey, and it sits next to and looks into the Protector of Lore. So, Leo, this is your mission. This is the little more fullness about your mission this month, okay? So when we look at Aries and we see how things are falling away, that which no longer needs us, and you know what, I forgot to say this, I apologize. And when those things fall away, just as the runes promised, movement can happen, shift and change. You got to let go of what doesn't work. First, often that's the first step, or part of the step that needs to be taken when you change your life. So Spirit says, don't be sad about it. Just bless it and release it, whatever it is. And then, again, moving the energy forward into the Leo set point, the Rememberer of Lore, supporting the Protector of Lore. The Rememberer of Lore is the sacred bard and has that desire inside of you who's come into the central place in your being. As you emerge that way and you stand on the ground of the ancients, then of course you want to speak about it. You might literally be writing poetry and writing songs. If you are, I'd love to see them. I'd love to hear them. So the sacred bard was that person who would sit by the roadside, and just sing poetry and play the instrument, attune the vibration, and send the vibration outward through spoken word and music and poetry and creative ability. It's very interesting to me. And that energy joined with the Protector of Lore. So there are messages that are going to come through to you, Leo. They're going to have something to do with sacred partnership in the full light of the sun. And when those energies are joined for you this month, the outcome is stepping into, pardon me, a new cycle. And I think we're all doing it, right? Because this is about all of us. Look at that. That is the final card in the major arcana of the deck. That is the perfecter of energy. It is about finishing a cycle and coming into the next cycle. And there is healing and shift and change from the root chakra all the way up through the crown chakra. Okay? I mean, really, the notion of awakening and having an awakening moment is all through this reading. So I do want you to be prepared. You might have a meeting. I think in one of my live streams I told the story of when I came up here one day to find the well on this property and a shaman showed up. I didn't ask for it. Spirit saying, yes, I did. Well, so in the way that these cards show, yeah, I did. Because probably had I known back then, this is what I would have seen, something like this. So don't be surprised. Spirit says, try to be graceful in those moments and don't freak out. It's your destiny. Okay? So there we go. There's the breastplate. Do you see the swastikas? That is about the spinning and the swirl and the power of sacred feminine energy as it makes its way through the 4 seasons. And this warrior who looks, because of the illustration, it's asexual, right? We can't tell the gender, and I love that because it is about energy more so than individuals. So we're moving into a new process. We're moving obviously into a new year. So Spirit this is the second time Spirit said the words to me, birth chart. We have a new chart. We're at literally a new starting point. And going forward from here, everything is going to change. Okay, Spirit wants me to read to you from the book. I'm going to toggle back and just read that. So, when you come to the last card in the major arcana of a deck, that something profound has happened, shift and change has taken place, and there's nothing, the work that was meant for us to do has been done. And that's why the cards are coming out this way to let us know we're at a new beginning. Okay? So the divinatory meaning of the perfecter of energy is about completion, perfect or satisfying resolution, the end or finalization of a cycle, successful achievement, triumph, self respect, synthesis. So Spirit says that's what the card on the very bottom left is all about. It is about synthesis. It's about, there's a word that I can't think of at the moment. I'm going to keep going. Synergy. Synthesis and synergy. The bonding of energies. In order to have an ascension moment, come into a new contract, a new way of being together. Because when we come together in these ways, it does create the art. Okay? The king and queen of art come forward to help us move along our path and finish the cycle so that the prophecy in this finishing can come forward. And that's what we're talking about. Clearly, to me. So the perfecter of energy brings every action into true alignment, enabling us to see and know the beginning and the end of the soul's story in brief but exquisite points of awareness until it leads us homeward. The acts of our life are also the acts of our soul. And so through this reading, what is the story of your soul as a fire sign element? And Spirit says, we want you to see it, and here it is. Okay, isn't that beautiful? So, it brings the sense of triumph and communication with all life, the ability to have clear expression, and obviously, of course, realization, sacred realization. And when the energy rises and moves in this way through that final column, the outcome column on the far right, of course, it brings us into a new foundation. Because, all of the prophecy and all the things haven't been said. Beautiful male energy, there's the spear again. You know what? Okay, now I'm getting choked up. We're holding the spear. Whew, this reading is so intense. We are holding it. And if you look at this card, I'm going to tell you a little about it, but look at the placement of the card on the table. It's astounding to me that it has its purpose looking into the card above the Rememberer of Lore that is about emergence, about leaping forward. It's really interesting to me. Okay, I'm going to hold them up so you can look at them. Okay, here they come. Look at that. Okay, Spirit says, do you see yourself now? Obviously, this is about emerging. It's interesting, isn't it, that in a fire sign reading, we're looking at a water element aspect. A new state of warriorship, emerging, leaping forward out of the depths of our being. That's what this says to me. And it sits, this card sits next to a prophecy. Oops, sorry. All right. That's what's emerging. Okay, let me toggle back so you can see the cards. So we see on the far left the Queen of Art, who sits next to and igniting this prophecy about a new skill set coming forward. The quest that the new skill set goes on is a quest of art because it is the Queen of Art who sits on the left side column. When we emerge, when we leap out of the wellspring of our own energy set point, magic happens. And what we're leaping into is a new foundation in order to be able to grasp the sacred spear that we see through this reading in so many different ways. Right? I love it. That is a person who has been through a rite of passage. It is the foundation of battle, becoming a spiritual warrior. And above that is another major arcana. This is the keeper of harmony. And so that is the desire of the warriorship that we have. and the place in which we are traveling to. And because of all this travel and all this dedication, initiation, understanding the attenuation of your cohort so that you can draw if you're a Sag and you need a little bit of energy from the Aries cohort, your Aries partner, dip your cup in to that pond that we see there. That's the other thing about that card that Spirit wants to talk with us about. Okay? And I do this, when I travel with people who come for energetic healing or they come for readings and it turns into a journey together, this is the goal. And I often say to them, I'm going to turn on the energy. I'm going to flow it out for you. If you want some, put your toes in, put your cup in, take a little drink. We're going to learn how to do that together. I'm going to teach you. Spirit was saying it yesterday. All right? So that's part of where we're going. And I'm grateful to see this show up. And I actually made a prediction yesterday. I said, you know what? This card came out for the water signs. This card came out for the earth signs. And I thought, there's a theme there. And I bet it's going to come for every reading. And here it is. All right. So when I saw it come out, I just had a little smile came over my face. All right. So, leaping forward into a new foundation because you have come through a rite of passage. That's what this is about. Whoops. All right, actually, I think it's this way. And they look into each other. Okay, that's us, the salmon of wisdom. And there we are, looking back at our own process and with full understanding of where we've come from and why. Beautiful. And the outcome card, of course, after all of that travel, no surprise, the woman of skill. See that? Look how activated she is. This journey brings us into our ability to hold destiny in our hands. And because of the messages in the reading, the messages in the runes, and the set point of the astrological opportunities this month, Spirit says, that's what you are to understand. You literally are standing in a moment where you're holding destiny, not just destiny, the entire spool of destiny. This is the moment to manifest what you want. Okay? So, there's a lot more to be said about that. And there's a lot of messaging coming through. I'm going to stop now because it's an hour and a half. Yesterday's readings were each 2 hours long. I'm going to try to make a vow not to do that again. So I'm going to leave you with the cards. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm going to just have a moment of silence where you can look into the cards. And then I'm going to talk to all the people who might be available on the chat. Okay? If you have any questions or any thoughts, and you're in the chat room waiting for me, just let me know what they are. All right? So, fire sign, mates of mine, I feel you. Spirit's teasing us. I do feel you. And I thank you for your presence. And I'm very excited to be part of this cohort because of the passion and the drive that we have. And we have been released and our moment is here. So manifest your destiny. Enjoy the month. I'll see you in October. Actually, probably before, but for this purpose, October.